This is the Jason Walker Show. Two-time National Sports Media Association Montana Sportscaster of the Year and three-time loser, the Jason Walker Show. The best local and statewide sports coverage, featuring the biggest guests from Montana.
Flint Rasmussen joining us here on the Jason Walker Show.
He's freaking exhausting, too. You used to dance a lot more. Yeah, I know, lady. I'm 51 years old now.
The NAI Hall of Famer Mike Van Diest joining us here, Jason Walker Show. And is it just a deal where quarterbacks have to be good golfers?
Well, that's all they have time for. They don't work out. They don't lift weights. They don't do anything else. They might as well go get on the golf course and at least have some fun.
And from across the country,
Doug Gottlieb, our guest here on the Jason Walker Show.
End of the day, remember, it's your show. It's got your name on it.
Howie Mandel, our guest here.
Jason Walker, deal or no deal?
the Jason Walker Show, presented by Helena Accommodations. The in-town 5-star extended stay residences. Visit HelenaAccommodations.com. Broadcasting from the Major Mortgage Man Cave, here's Jason Walker.
I like that dude's voice. It is so awesome. Welcome to the Jason Walker Show. It is a Monday, a full week of shows. Missed you on Friday, but we were down in Bozeman watching the Bobcat playoff game in the quarterfinals. A big win over Austin P. Hello, Governor. Nobody got to say that, though. Did talk to a cheerleader who said she's moving to Bozeman when she graduates down there in Austin P, Tennessee. But it was a great environment, a great win for the Bobcats. We're going to talk more about that here in a minute. Also going to hear today from Haven Medjid of Miles City, the rookie who won the National Finals Rodeo World Championship in tie-down. So we'll talk to him coming up here in a little bit. And also, let's see what else we have. We have the Grizz playoff game to recap and some other stuff. We'll tell you all the world champions. And Ty Erickson of Helena, a champion as well. On this day in history, we got the walk-off. And our good buddy over in Missoula, Scott Guernsey, being Scott Guernsey. So we'll talk more about the Grizz and their playoff loss to Weber coming up here in a little bit. Want to thank everybody for watching here on Facebook, also on YouTube, the Twitter sphere as well, treasurestateradio.com. Make sure you go there, download the app on Google Play or the App Store. It is one great place to listen to this show. JasonWalkerShow.com. The website is going to be coming soon, possibly in a week or week and a half, maybe, but it might be a Christmas present to you, is the new Jason Walker Show website. Also, don't forget, you can email us anytime, jasonwalkersports@gmail.com. Jason Walker Show is always presented by Helena Accommodations, the in-town 5-star extended stay residences. Visit HelenaAccommodations.com. We are in the Major Mortgage Man Cave, and appreciate those guys jumping on board, and looking forward to a great show today. Looking forward to a great week today as well. Coming up this week, just a little tease of what we're going to have. Guy Almquist, the Capital Boys coach, probably talk to some Helen High coaches as well. Talk to some other coaches possibly from around the state. Maybe Flint Rasmussen will join us too. He's going to be got the Chase Hawks this week down at Billings. And Flint going to be the man in the barrel down there. A long time coming, getting him back in there. The old PBR Entertainer of the Year multiple times. But Flint, the man, hopefully will join us a little bit later this week. And we're going to talk to Sam Herder from Hero Sports of the FCS and get his thoughts on the semifinal games that are coming up this week between North Dakota State and Montana State, and also James Madison and Weber State. And should be a couple of great games. I don't think we're going to see a 52-10 game like we saw last year with the Bobcats and North Dakota State, but it should be a very, very good game. A couple of them, as Weber State and James Madison will play. Weber with a great win over the Grizz, 17-7, and Dalton Sneed with the 5 interceptions. We'll recap that whole game coming up here in a little bit. But we're going to start with the Bobcats. Of course, they got the win over Austin P, and it was a great game. Just the atmosphere in general was a fantastic football game. The Bobcats jumped out on top with a 60-yard run from Isaiah Ifanse. We'll have more on Isaiah here in a second, but the Bobcats, laid it on Austin P, and it really wasn't a blowout. And, talking to people on the sideline all game long, it was not going to be a blowout. And it was not going to be like it was the week before. when the Cats won, 48 to 14 or 21, whatever it was, ended up being. But the Cats ended up doing what they needed to do to get the 24-10 win. Nearly 15,000 on hand at Bobcat Stadium. It was a much better crowd than the week before for the quarterfinals than it was in the second round. But Ifanse had himself another fantastic game, and he finished with 198 yards on 26 carries. Had that 60-yard touchdown we talked about early in the minute and 40 seconds into the game. And MSU had 279 rushing yards as a team, which was against a very good Austin Peay front four on that defense, which was very big and strong. And the Cats, their offensive line pushed them around and got the job done. Tucker Rovig, 114 yards through the air, did have a 6-yard touchdown pass to Kevin Cassis. And Ifanse threw for a touchdown, and you're going to see more of that here in a second. But it was just a very good win for Montana State as they advanced to the semifinals for the first time in 34 years since 1984, so 35 years. By the way, that was the last time that the Cats won the national championship. Throw in a little audio here, but I think we can take the video of this. Yeah, there it is. There's the jump pass from Isaiah Ifanse, and got the win for Montana State. That was a great pass to Jason Skrampos. Nobody saw it coming. It was a lot of fun to watch that and to videotape that one from right there on the sideline. But Coach Choate in his postgame had some very, very good messages to say about his team.
First and foremost, I want to congratulate Coach Hudspeth, Austin Peay State University, his fine team on a tremendous year. I mean, that's a historic season for that crew. Get to the quarterfinal round, win 2 playoff games, beat a great Sacramento State team on the road. I just really have a ton of respect for the job that he's done there, and that's a program that's going to definitely be, one to contend with in the future, especially in the Ohio Valley Conference. Secondly, I cannot say enough about our community, our campus community, the community of Bozeman, and the state of Montana. That was a lot of fun. What an unbelievable crowd, what an unbelievable atmosphere. I think this team fed off the energy all night defensively. Man, what a lot of fun that was. And so I just really want to tip my hat. I want to say thank you is what I want to do. I want to say thank you to our administrators that helped to make sure that people that wanted to come to this game could, our community businesses that chipped in, and our community at large. I mean, just what an awesome environment. And, man, that was worthy of getting us to the semifinals for the first time in 35 years. So.
There you go, Jeff Choate talking about the Bobcats' big victory over Austin Peay, and giving a lot of the credit to the crowd. It was amazing. And yeah, I've seen a lot of the games at Bobcat Stadium, most from the press box. I've only seen 3 in the last few years from down in the on the sidelines. First one I saw on the sidelines was in 2014, the Gold Rush game, and then the last 2 weekends. I got to tell you, man, it was nuts. It was so loud. I was standing there with my brother. We were standing on the sideline, and I couldn't hardly hear what he was talking, and we were this far from each other, It was awesome atmosphere down there at Bobcat Stadium in Bozeman for that win. We talked about the pass from Ifanse to Jason Skrampos. Here it is, if you missed it. Take a look. I don't know why the audio cut out, but it's pretty cool. There it is. There's the jump pass. It looked like I said it on Twitter Friday night that it was a lot like a Tim Tebow, but it was still pretty cool. I was supposed to have some sound there from Jeff Choate, but apparently he didn't record. So anyway, there's the video, and it was just a great atmosphere down there in Bozeman, and the Cats get the win. Now they get to go to North Dakota State, and good luck. But again, it will not be 52-10 like it was a year ago. I'm telling you, it will not be. Will the Cats win? I don't know. The fact that they get a chance to play, and people were asking me on the sidelines on Saturday, because North Dakota State only won 9-3. Well, they were texting me, but we were talking about it on the sidelines. Now, had Illinois State beat North Dakota State, the Cats would have hosted in the semifinals, which would have been fantastic. But you look at it, and the Cats had that chance, and North Dakota State only winning 9-3, as I said, over Illinois State. they're a fellow rival out of the Missouri Valley, but had the Cats been able to host, man, the semifinals at home, that would have been sweet. But, we're talking to people and like, would the Cats rather play North Dakota State? Would they rather play Illinois State? I got to tell you, I think the Cats want North Dakota State. After last year's embarrassment, I think the Cats want to go to Fargo and prove that they're a much better team than they were a year ago. Are they a better team than they were a year ago? Yeah. Now, are they still missing Troy Anderson, who hasn't played for the last few games? Yes. But like Coach Choate said, and so did Derek Marks, the senior from Belgrade, who forced a huge sack towards the end of the game, knocked the ball loose, and Bryce Dirk recovered it, almost ran it back for a touchdown. But Mark said, he goes, we're more than just one guy. And Choate said that too. The Cats are more than just Troy Anderson. They are. And as good of a player as Troy is, he doesn't make or break the Bobcats, and they've proven that. They beat the Grizz handily without Troy. They won their first round playoff game handily without Troy. They won last week pretty handily without Troy. And, despite the fact that the defense for the first time in 7 games gave up a touchdown pass, think about that. In the last 7 games, Montana State's first-string defense, first-stringers, have given up 1 touchdown pass. And that came on Friday night down there to Austin Peay. Tell you what, that Devin Craig dude was a great quarterback, fun to watch, big quarterback, and Austin Peay is going to miss him. But it was a lot of fun down there, and that, like I said, that atmosphere was raucous and rolling. It was a very good time. So the Bobcats will play at North Dakota State. That'll be at noon Saturday on ESPN2, and then Weber State and James Madison will play on ESPNU at 4:30 in the afternoon on the ESPN family of networks. But you can watch the Cats on ESPN2 from Fargo. I know, was it yesterday? Yesterday or today, Montana State sold out of its allotted tickets for the game out in Fargo. There's a lot of Bobcat fans headed out. And, man, they're going to have, the Fargo Dome is not an easy place to play. It might be the toughest place in the FCS to play. But I tell you what, the Cats are going to be ready because they've played in a couple of raucous atmospheres in the last few weeks. You figure, Cat Grizz at home, it was loud, 20,000 plus. You had about 13,000 last week for the second round win, and then you had 14,000 plus on Friday night for the quarterfinal win. So that semifinal game for Montana State coming up Saturday at 2 o'clock, or noon Mountain Time, 2 o'clock Eastern, out and 1 o'clock Central in North Dakota. So there you go. We're going to recap the Grizz loss to Weber coming up a little bit later on, as we also have Guernsey being Guernsey again over in Missoula. Was driving home and listening to the post game after the Grizz lost, and Scott Guernsey just being Scott Guernsey, and blaming everybody in the world but the team that he roots for the loss on Saturday night. But we'll take a quick break. We'll come back. Jason Walker Show is presented by Helena Accommodations. 22 extended stay suites downtown Helena. They are 6 blocks from, or just blocks rather, from Carroll College. You've got, of course, the Carousel. But downtown Helena, these are 6 historic buildings that Helena Accommodations has remodeled and made luxury extended stay residences. They have Wi-Fi. You've got the best TVs. You've got the best Wi-Fi. You've got cable. You have washers and dryers in your suites. You don't have to pay for laundry while you're staying on your extended stay suite. So visit HelenaAccommodations.com. You got the holidays coming up. You can book for your family or book for yourself, because if you got family coming to town, you might be like, you know what? I'm thinking I need a break, or send the family off to Helena Accommodations to enjoy their stay. 4 days, 4 months, whatever it's going to be. HelenaAccommodations.com. Make sure that you check them out and do it because, well, I said so. Coming up, we'll check in with Haven Medjed, the world champion rookie tie-down roper. He'll join us in about a minute here on the Jason Walker Show. Have you thought about buying a home and just don't know where to begin? Well, when it comes to one of the most important purchases one can make, we understand it can be frustrating and confusing. Have you thought about buying a home and just don't know where to begin? Well, when it comes to one of the most important purchases one can make, we understand it can be frustrating and confusing, but it doesn't have to be. Let the Major Mortgage team help you with all your mortgage needs. Major Mortgage means major service, and we would love the opportunity to help you today. Give J.R. McFadden, NMLS number 1246357, a call today at 406-465-1918, or you can visit him at 2001 11th Avenue, Building A, Suite 3 in Helena. Major Mortgage is a division of AMCAP Mortgage, NMLS number 129122, equal housing lender. Everyone knows about Dinners Done Right and the convenience of the cook and carry cuisines. It's so easy to just stop by and you have something for dinner that night. But there's also one more thing you need to know about. Dinners Done Right Grab and Go Salad Bar. Yes, I said salad bar. Always the freshest ingredients, along with a daily soup and nacho bar too. So the next time you are in a rush or you just want to eat healthy, stop by Dinners Done Right for the soup, salad, and nacho bar. For monthly menus and more info, it's dinnersdoneright.com. Yes, it's true that Montana is a long way from the Gulf Coast, but you can bring that Cajun flavor home with a stop at Cafe Zydeco. From po' boys to classic sandwiches, Cafe Zydeco has all the best Cajun in town. Are you in the mood for seafood gumbo or crawfish etouffee? Maybe you're craving jambalaya with some shrimp and grits. Head in for breakfast, lunch, or dinner, or call ahead for pickup or delivery. Cafe Zydeco will fix all your southern cravings, even on a chilly Montana day. Cafe Zydeco is a proud sponsor of The Jason Walker Show.
Welcome back to The Jason Walker Show.
All right, we are back. Jason Walker Show, presented by Helena Accommodations. The in-town 5-star extended stay residences. Visit HelenaAccommodations.com. Still trying to get a hold of Haven Medjid, the world champion in tie-down roping. He'll join us here coming up in a little bit here on the Jason Walker Show. And coming to you from the Major Mortgage Man Cave, which is a fantastic sponsor of the Jason Walker Show. Make sure you check. Go to, give JR a call. You heard it in the spot. Give JR a call. He'll get you set up. And man, typing and talking at the same time is not my forte. I don't know how people do it. But anyway, we are back. It is a Monday, big week coming up. Kurt Sinnis will join us a little bit later this week as well. An edition of Kurt's Corner, a special edition. Kurt, of course, talked about his calendar last week, and you can still get a hold of Kurt and order his calendar, 594-2878. And get a hold of that calendar. He'll be signing Saturday morning in Helena. So if you have it, there you go. Kurt will get a hold of sign your calendar if you go down and buy it. So it's that's awesome. We're going to still talk about the Cats a little bit more. Got some Grizz talk coming up on this day in sports history, just around the corner as well. But the National Finals Rodeo wrapped up over the weekend in Las Vegas, and a great run was made by many of Montana's fantastic ropers and rough stockers and steer wrestlers, and a couple of world champions came out as well. There was, 7 Montanans competing and a chance to win a couple of world titles, and they did. The Helena connection came away with 1, almost 2. You had Miles City coming away with a world championship as well. Haven Medjid set to join us coming up here a little bit later on. But Helena's Ty Erickson, let's start with him in steer wrestling. Man, oh man, this dude has had many opportunities over the last few years to win his first national world championship in steer wrestling. He came up big finally this year. Now, he didn't get off to a great start. Missed out of the gate, broke the barrier both nights 1 and 2. Was out of the money a few nights. He won a round or 2, but he ended up winning his first world championship. And congratulations to Ty, who was a fantastic basketball player at Capitol High School. And, I tagged the wrong thing. I was under the influence of tiredness on Saturday night. But he did not play football for Capitol. He was a basketball all-stater his senior year. And you're going to hear from Guy Almquist later this week, probably tomorrow, talking about Ty and what a great basketball player he was for the Bruins. But a great win for Ty Erickson and holding off, the competitors, which included, for the second consecutive year, Butte's Bridger Chambers. Chambers originally from Stevensville, living in Butte now, but he finished second in the world standings. And for like I said, the second straight year, he took third on the final night, pocketed over $18,000 just on Saturday, finished third in the average, which is big. And again, second in the world for the second consecutive year. So when Ty Erickson, Bridger Chambers 1 and 2 in steer wrestling this year at the National Finals Rodeo. And Josh Clark of Belgrade just missed out on qualifying in September when the regular season ended. He was 16th and just missed by less than $10,000 to get into the World Wrangler National Finals Rodeo. But congratulations to Ty, congratulations to Bridger, and I know that they'll be both be back as well. Ty on vacation now. We're hoping to chat with him a little bit later this week, but talked to his wife Sierra Erickson on Saturday night and yesterday, and she said, "Yeah, we're going to be driving through California, but give Ty a call." I said, "I don't want to take off your vacation." She goes, "No, man, give him a call." So we'll try to get a hold of Ty a little bit later this week. There's another Montana connection that did win a world championship, and that is Haley Kinsel. You might know her now as Haley Kinsel Lockwood. That's because she is married to PBR bull riding champ, the two-timer, Jess Lockwood, two-time champion, by the way. Lockwood of Volberg, he won the PBR world championship in November. They got married in October. He won the championship in November. She wins her second straight barrel racing world championship in December. So my question I put up on Facebook and Twitter is, who had the better weekend? Was it, or who had the better year? Was it, or what's more impressive? Jess Lockwood winning his second PBR world championship in 2017, also 2019, or was it Haley Kinsel Lockwood winning her second consecutive? So that's my question. Whose win was most impressive? I gotta vote for Haley, I think. I know bull riding is tough, but and Jess had a great year. There's no doubt about that. But I gotta vote for Haley in the barrel racing because she didn't even enter in number one. She had a great run down there in Las Vegas, winning her second straight on Sister. That is her horse's name. So congratulations to both. If you want to weigh in on the Facebook, you can at the Jason Walker Show. You can tweet us as well at Jason Walker Show or at JWalker Sports, and just get it done. Vote. By the way, that brings up, what was your performance of the week? You know, you can send us that in via email or tweet or Facebook. What was your performance of the week? Was it the Cats? Was it Isaiah Afonse's 198 yards on 26 carries? Touchdown running, touchdown passing. Weber State's defense with 5 interceptions over from Dalton Sneed. What else? Capitals boys, big win over the Bozeman boys, 75-44. You beat the defending champs by 31 in your season opener. Bozeman now 1-1. They beat Helena High on Thursday. There were some other great performances around the state, so you can weigh in, get yours nominated, and we'll try to give you some results coming up here at the end of the show. But as we still try to track down Haven Medjid and the tie-down world champ, we will tell you other world champions from the weekend that wrapped up down there in Las Vegas. We mentioned Lisa Lockhart, another Montanan. She won the barrel racing 1371 on Saturday night, but she finished third in the average, fourth in the world. She actually was number one in the world for a couple of the first rounds after being very consistent, knocked the barrel down midweek and never really got back into it until the end. She actually switched from her new horse, I believe it's Cutter, and rode Louis for a couple of nights in Las Vegas, but couldn't ever really get any momentum. But Lisa with another great one as she still chases her first barrel racing title. Helena Healer chased Tryon, his heading partner Brenton Hall. They finished sixth in the team roping on Saturday, finished second in the average, third in the world standings. So you've got a couple of wins and a third place with Chase, a fourth place with Lisa Lockhart. Let's see, you also had Clay Tryon. He finished, I think, 10th in the world. Didn't have a great NFR. In bareback, Richmond champion of Stevensville, formerly of the Woodlands, Texas, he finished third in the average, fourth in the world. Also, Caleb Bennett of Corvallis, formerly of Tremont, Utah, he did not get a score Saturday, but he finished seventh in the world and 10th in the average. We mentioned Clay Tryon finishing 10th in the world, and Chase Brooks of Deer Lodge, who had a great run last year in his first NFR, finished 9th in the average, 8th in the world this year. So a good showing for Montanans and new Montanans, with a couple of bareback riders moving to Montana this year. But it was a great weekend of rodeo. It was a fantastic weekend, 10 days. And you got the Chase Hawks coming up this weekend in Billings. It's kind of the big one to kick off the 2020 season for many of the rough stock riders, because you're going to have a lot of these riders that you just saw in Las Vegas. You're going to see them now down in Billings this week as they get ready to perform for the Magic City in the state of Montana. You got a lot of people from Wyoming coming up. And yeah, I mean, the stock is going to be there as well. The stock that you just saw at the national finals is going to be in Billings this weekend. So you got the Chase Hawks is coming up, and then kind of a break for a few weeks before everybody heads off to Denver in January. So to kick off really the 2020 season, which actually started October 1st, but small rodeos throughout the course of the fall and early winter, but it kicks into high gear in January for the national finals. Chase, which begins, like we said, October 1st, but it is well underway, but it really gets going in January. Jason Walker Show inside the Major Mortgage Man Cave is produced by the Jason Walker Show and Jason Walker Media. We appreciate you joining us. Make sure you check out treasurestateradio.com. You can download on Google Play or the App Store, and you can listen anytime. And some great shows on Treasure State Radio. News as well with Jay Scott, but great music from all Montana folks, which is fun to listen to. You can always watch this show, facebook.com/The Jason Walker Show. Twitter, you can tweet us at JWalkerSports, at Jason Walker Show. YouTube, just search The Jason Walker Show. And also listen on Podbean, iTunes, lots of great places. And then this show is always going to be back up in an archive fashion, both on Facebook and YouTube as well. And we mentioned the Jason Walker Show website is coming soon, jasonwalkershow.com. And man, I'm looking forward. I've seen half a page of it, and it's not done yet, but I can't wait to see the finished product and then share it with you. It's going to be a lot of fun. There is no doubt about that, because there's going to be lots of interaction for you and I to share here on the Jason Walker Show. As always, presented by Helena Accommodations and the in-town 5-star extended stay residences. You can visit HelenaAccommodations.com. Let's switch gears while we await Haven Medjid, but the Grizz lost over the weekend, and 17-7. It was a close game, Weber State. And by all accounts, the Grizz played well. It was just 5 interceptions from Dalton Sneed, who, you feel bad for the dude, the senior playing in his final game, and he struggled. But give all the credit to Weber State's defense, because they forced those turnovers. They forced him into making some decisions that ended up in interceptions. And Weber, they didn't capitalize on them all, but they did capitalize when they needed to. They scored late, got a blocked punt, and it was 17-7 the final. The Grizz season ends. Grizz fans are saying the RTD, that was the hashtag that they were using this year, return to dominance. Did the Grizz return to dominance? Well, for Bobby Houck, the return to dominance only means winning the Big Sky and then winning a national championship, which he's yet to do. But I would say that the Grizz responded coming off last year and Bobby's first year back, missing the playoffs for 3 years in a row, getting back to the playoffs. They got a home game, and, they did beat Weber in the regular season pretty handily. And that was at Washington Grizz Stadium. We talked about it last week, that it was going to be a little different scenario down there in Ogden at Stewart Stadium last week, and it was on Friday night. Bobby Houck talked about how he didn't like Friday night games, how it should be only played on Saturday. Well, then don't make the playoffs and don't let TV dictate when you play. Just a thought. I do have a point to bring up. Remember after the Cat Grizz game, Bobby Houck in his post-game conference, paraphrasing, basically said that the Cats and their fans only care about winning one game, and that was the Cat Grizz game. And that they put everything all year into that one game, and maybe the Grizz should focus on that too. Well, because the Cats have won 4 straight. Well, Bobby, explain to me this then. What is the reason for the last 2 weeks the Bobcats got wins? they obviously only care about Cat Grizz. So I don't know what those other wins before Cat Grizz meant. And then I don't know what these 2 wins in the playoffs mean for the Montana State Bobcats. If they only care about the Cats and the Grizz in that game, then why are they now playing in the semifinals? Answer me that. It's a simple logical question. If Bobby Houck said the Cats only care about Cat Grizz game, then why the heck are they playing this weekend in the semifinals with a chance to go to the national championship? Just answer me that. It's a simple question. It's all I care about is wanting to know that answer because, well, yeah, that's all I got. I mean, seriously, Bobby, why would you say something like that? And then the Cats going out, and great job on them. You know, they have a 10-win season, plus they have a chance to go to the national championship game. All they have to do is beat the 2-time defending champs that have won 7 of the last 8, North Dakota State Bison, on Saturday out there at the Fargo Dome. But it's going to be a good game. Looking forward to it. Noon Mountain Time on ESPN2. And then James Madison takes on Weber on Saturday afternoon as well. And that one will be on ESPNU at 4:30 because Weber State beating the Grizz and James Madison knocking off Northern Iowa, and then North Dakota State on Saturday beat Illinois State 9-3. Really, the closest game of the weekend was the NDSU and Illinois State game. So, like I said, there were some great performances of the week, including Isaiah Afonse's 196 yards and running, and on the ground. He also passed for a touchdown. He had a 60-yard touchdown run as well, and the Bobcats would move on. So, do you have any great performances of the week? And like I said, you could, choose a multitude of them from across the state. And there was very great high school performances. You had, we talked about Capital. We'll hear from Guy Almquist a little bit later on this week, probably tomorrow. But like I said, you had some great performances this week across the state, not just in basketball, but how about Great Falls High winning the Butte invite in wrestling down there, the Butte Duels. Man, oh man, that is a great weekend of wrestling at Butte, because Butte, for the longest time in the 80s and early 90s, Butte was the one place in the state of Montana that what you could count on year in, year out was going to win the state championship. The Bulldogs were so good. I think they won 13 in a row. Lately, you've had Great Falls High, you've had Flathead, you've had Bozeman, just in AA. You also have then, you look at Class A with Havard, the run that they had. So wrestling with a great run. And Cutbank also winning over the weekend at the Bob Kinney Classic. It was held at Superior, and Cutbank wins it all in wrestling. You had swimming get going this weekend. We mentioned Capitals win. How about Hellgate? Raleigh Worcester and Cam Lawrence combined for 34 as West got a 59-46 loss to Hellgate. Many believe Hellgate's going to win state this year. A lot of people believe that it'll be a Hellgate West state championship, and it very well could be in March as well. That looking forward to watching these teams move on. Billings Senior beat Big Sky 78-62. Junior Bergen had 24 points in that game, and himself along with Jackson Berkeley combined to hit 8 3-pointers. That's pretty good. These are just AA boys. Sentinel, Alex Germer with a 24.6 rebound performance in a 71-59 win over Skyview. And Bridger Groveland, we mentioned, he had 19, and the Bruins got the win. They led 30-7 in the second quarter against the defending state champs and won by 31. We mentioned Great Falls High wrestling. How about Great Falls High basketball? They had a good game with Glacier. Drew Wyman, we all know the Wyman name, but he had 25. Levi Torgerson had 18, and the Bison beat the Wolfpack 62-61. Great games in Class A, Class B as well. Jack Shepard had 20 points, 5 3-pointers to lead Conrad in a win, or rather lead Eureka in a win over Conrad. Shepard had 20 for Conrad in the loss. So he had 20 of the 45. Corey Cheney had 14 to lead Eureka. 20 points for Jaden Job as Loyola won 60-53 over Wolf Point. In Class C, some great performances. 20 points for Traden Bauer. Brockton beat Fraser by 8. And just going down the list, there were some other great performances. Girls side, how about this score? 56-15. Billings Senior beat Missoula Big Sky. 56-15. Big Sky's going to struggle again this year on the girls' side. There's no doubt about that. Sentinel got a big 12-point win over Skyview. And let's see, what else? Capital beat Bozeman on the road. Good win down there. The Barches had 25 points combined in the 42-30 win. Addie Ekstrom of Bozeman. I watched her grow up. I helped coach her brother in baseball. Addie, pretty awesome little girl, and she's not so little anymore. She's the junior at 13 to lead the way for the Hawks. Actually, I think she had 17. Let's see, in Class A, Central raced past Havre, 59-46. So are we going to have a changing of the guard in Class A girls? Kendall Keller, who's going to Lady Grizz, she led all players with 25 for Havre, but that's an early season loss that hasn't happened for the Blue Pony girls in a long time. Laurel rather beat Poplar 79-37. 25 for Sammy Spitzer. Mason Cotter had 23 as well. And Class B, Kenna Pitcher had 27 for Fairfield. They beat Three Forks, and that was a great performance. 21 for Sam Clevenger to lead Loyola over Shepherd. And yeah, so some great performances from across the state, and we'll recap some of them each and every week. You had 35 points for Tia Stahl. That was the high point mark for Winnett Grass Range of anybody, boys or girls, this year, or this weekend. 27 for Pitcher, as we mentioned, from Fairfield. So there were some great performances, no doubt about it, for high school basketball, high school wrestling as well. We talked about, and the swimming got underway. We have 1 weekend left this coming weekend before we dive into the Christmas break, but then things start to heat up in January. There's a lot of great things high school sports-wise coming up. Starting in January, you get into conference plays, you get into a whole bunch of stuff. It's going to be a lot of fun once January hits. Got a little non-conference affairs going on right now. The Helena Schools boys will be in Billings, taking on Weston Senior, Helena High, and Capital. The girls will be at home. There is this weekend. We will again talk to Guy Almquist, the Capital boys coach, coming up tomorrow. But don't get down on Bozeman for losing by 31, and don't get too high on Capital yet. It's their first game. Great performance, and I'm looking forward to seeing how they progress. But that's a big win. There's no doubt about it. A big win for the Bruins to get the season started against the Bozeman, who had beaten Helena High on Thursday night. But you get a big 31-point win. That's impressive. Now you got to back it up, and you get to go on the road to West. You get to go on the road to Senior. So back it up, Bruins, and it'll be a great Christmas holiday for you until you come back in January. For Bozeman, like I said, don't get too down on them. This is a team that has a pedigree. They know how to win. Wes Holmquist is a great coach, and I bet you we see the Bengals, or the Hawks rather, with more wins than losses this year. Again, you talk about who's the defending state champs in a lot of sports. Football, Bozeman. Basketball, Bozeman. Cross country, golf, both Bozeman. There's a lot of state championships at Bozeman High right now. And, there's a lot that could have been won if things had gone different ways. But, man, oh, man, next year, what's it going to look like for the Hawks? What's it going to look like for the new school, Gallatin Valley? Looking forward to seeing how, as a Bozeman Hawk guy, I graduated from Bozeman in 93. How is that going to affect? Because as a Bozeman Hawk, I don't want to see what happened to Flathead happen to Bozeman when Glacier started. And now with the new school in Bozeman next year, you don't want to see Bozeman go through a long stretch of Bozeman High like Flathead High did. You want to see continued success. There's a lot of kids in Bozeman and some great coaches down there as well. So it'll be interesting to see what happens next year. All right, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll get you set on this day in history. We'll also, I have some Guernsey being Guernsey, and we know what that means if you're a follower of the Jason Walker Show. Scott Guernsey, former Grizz, missed out on a national championship by a year. He had some comments last year. He made some comments this year after the Grizz lost to Weber, and just blaming everybody but the Grizz. And, of course, but we'll talk about it when we come back. The Jason Walker Show inside the Major Mortgage Man Cave is presented by Helena Accommodations, the in-town 5-star extended stay residences. Visit HelenaAccommodations.com. Coming right back, Jason Walker Show here, wherever you're listening. We appreciate it. Have you thought about buying a home and just don't know? Where to begin? Well, when it comes to one of the most important purchases one can make, we understand it can be frustrating and confusing, but it doesn't have to be. Let the Major Mortgage team help you with all your mortgage needs. Major Mortgage means major service, and we would love the opportunity to help you today. Give J.R. McFadden, NMLS number 1246357, a call today at 406-465-1918, or you can visit him at 2001 11th Avenue, Building A, Suite 3 in Helena. Major Mortgage is a division of AMCAP Mortgage, NMLS number 129122, equal housing lender. Yes, it's true that Montana is a long way from the Gulf Coast, but you can bring that Cajun flavor home with a stop at Cafe Zydeco. From po' boys to classic sandwiches, Cafe Zydeco has all the best Cajun in town. Are you in the mood for seafood gumbo or crawfish etouffee? Maybe you're craving jambalaya with some shrimp and grits. Head in for breakfast, lunch, or dinner, or call ahead for pickup or delivery. Cafe Zydeco will fix all your southern cravings, even on a chilly Montana day. Cafe Zydeco is a proud sponsor of The Jason Walker Show. Welcome back, Jason Walker Show here wherever we're listening. I'm not sure what's going on, getting texts all over the place here. Anyway, we are back and still trying to get a hold of Haven Medjid, the team roping world champion from Miles City, and we lost you on Treasure State Media, so we're trying to connect there. Apologize for that, but hopefully we're still with you here on the Facebook and the YouTube. Is hey, our friend Sam Herder watching, and we'll have Sam on the show on Wednesday to talk about the semifinals of the FCS playoffs. Looking forward to having Sam on. He knows everything from Hero Sports FCS. He knows everything about the FCS. So we'll get him on Wednesday. Looking forward to that. But you can tweet us anytime at Jason Walker's show or J Walker Sports on the Twitter. As we get trying to figure out what, I love this when you're a one-man band. You're live radio and live TV is always a good thing, right? Trying to get everything to work here properly, but we apologize for all the technical difficulties. It's new. We're still trying to work things out, right? And we'll work out the kinks and work out the bugs. But anyway, still trying to get a hold of Haven Medjid, like I mentioned, still trying to get him on. But before we continue, let's dive back to the Grizz. So the Grizzlies lose to Weber State 17-7 on Friday night. First off, Bobby Houck was not a fan of Friday night game, and he, made himself known, said it should be played on Saturday, not 8 o'clock on Friday night. It rained, it snowed in Ogden, and you just got beat by a better team. Dalton Sneed threw 5 interceptions. Hate to see it because he's a good dude. He's a great guy. And a heck of a quarterback, and he's going to be missed over there in Grizzlyville for sure. Trying to you feel bad for the kid, playing in his last game and whatnot. But Scott Guernsey, in the post-game show, him and Denny Bedard on Learfield IMG made some comments again, and like last year, remember he talked about the Bobcats. They were little brother, and they don't know how to celebrate and whatnot. I mean, he's just being Guernsey. He's just, he's not a happy guy. But anyway, he comes out this week after the Grizz lose and try to get them pulled back up here. But so he started off whining about a pass that was overturned in the game. Now, I didn't see it because I was in Bozeman and then driving back. He said, quote, "The tip of the ball touched the ground. I'm not sure why the officials overturned the call," end quote. Because the ball touched the ground, Guernsey. That's why it was overturned on replay. And because when the ball touches the ground, it's a no catch. Call me crazy, but that's been a rule forever. Now I know everybody's, you can say what you want and joke about, the nobody knows what a fumble is, nobody knows what pass interference, nobody knows what a catch is anymore, and especially in the NFL. But so anyway, he goes off on that for a little bit, and then he starts to talk about the ESPN announcers and complaining about them because they didn't get it right on who initially blocked the punt for the Grizz. It was a freshman kid. But the guys on ESPN apparently said first it was Dante Olson because he was celebrating. And then he's like, these guys I've never heard of. I don't think they ever played football. And, ESPN needs to do a better job of getting announcers. Well, I could say the same thing about Learfield over there in Missoula about one specific guy, you. I have no idea why you're still on the air, Guernsey. I really don't. And then he started complaining, true story, that the weather cost the Grizzlies the game. I'm going to repeat that. The weather cost the Grizzlies the football game. Okay. I guess Weber State didn't play in the same conditions? I don't know. I'm guessing they did because they beat you. And actually, they didn't beat you because you don't play anymore, Guernsey. But the fact of the matter is, you still, the team you root for still lost. There's no, no getting around that. But blaming everybody but your team. Now, and I get it. You don't want to go at Dalton Snead, and you shouldn't. The guy had a bad game. One bad game in his career. But you gave up a block punt for a score. You gave up, you held Weber to 113 yards. Why didn't you win? So, in Guernsey, the guy that talks about class all the time has the, and I'm not a big fan of this, but the FTC, we all know what it means, tattooed on his leg. That's classy. Yeah. Guernsey, you need to just get off the air. You need to retire and go away because nobody's going to miss you. Not one person. I think Grizz fans are even getting, fed up with your whining all the time. A couple weeks ago, Denny Bedard whined about the Grizz losing to the Cats and the Cats running up the score. No, you just couldn't stop the run. And then you couldn't beat Weber on the road, a team that you dismantled at home 3 weeks ago. A month ago. So anyway, Guernsey, when a ball touches the ground, it's an incompletion. When ESPN puts out their announcers, pretty sure they're more important than you. And they're better than you and me. That's why I'm not on ESPN. I'm not doing games. I get it. I'm okay with it. And then weather costing the game? Come on, Guernsey. You know better than that. It's ridiculous. Anyway, I digress a touch as we focus on the games at hand, which is coming up the semifinals. The Cats at North Dakota State and Weber State heading off to James Madison. Again, we'll talk to Sam Herder from Hero Sports FCS coming up Wednesday as we get his thoughts on what exactly is going to happen in the semifinal games. And he was at Cat Grizz game in Bozeman. I want to get his thoughts on that too because it's a different environment. It's the best rivalry in the FCS, I believe. It's one of the best rivalries in all of college sports. But yeah, a little bit of whining there from Guernsey. All right, make sure you follow us, facebook.com, The Jason Walker Show. You can tweet us at JWalkerSports, at Jason Walker Show. On the YouTube page, just search Jason Walker Show as well. TreasureStateRadio.com. Make sure you download on Google Play or the App Store. And as always, you can email as well, JasonWalkerSports@gmail.com. Anything you want to talk about, we'll try to get it on the air. Soon we'll have a phone number and text line, I believe. I'm thinking. Maybe calls. And maybe some text. But you can tweet us at any time, too. And then, of course, JasonWalkerShow.com, which is coming soon. The Jason Walker Show, presented by Helena Accommodations, the in-town 5-star extended stay residences. All right, let's see. I want to try to do something here and see if this works. So,
what happened on this date in sports history? Find out next on the Jason Walker Show.
Oh, I was supposed to play that before. Okay, so it says next. Okay, we got it. We know what we're doing. We really don't. On this date in sports history, 1967, Wilt Chamberlain of the NBA Philadelphia 76ers scored 68 points against Chicago. He had 68 in 67. Of course, Wilt also with a 100-point game. By the way, did you see a couple of weeks ago? I think it was last week. The dude from where's he from? I can't remember right off the bat. Oh, from what is that school? J.J. Culver from Wayland Baptist out in Plainview, Texas. I believe that's where my uncle lives. But Wayland Baptist, he scored 100 points back on December the 10th, and it's real. It actually happened. I've seen Wayland Baptist in action. This is a very good basketball team at the national tournament. But J.J. Culver had a 100-point game. He was 34 of 62 from the floor, hit 12 of 33 from beyond the arc, and 20 of 27 from the free throw line. He had 9 rebounds, a couple of blocks, 5 steals, and an assist. And they beat a team that's not as good, Southwest Adventist. But 100-point game. Nobody else on the team scored in double figures. The closest was John Robinson, who had 8. But he was 34 of 62. As a team, Wayland Baptist 42 of 77. So obviously it was the game that they were letting him just go off as they won 124 to 60. But a 100-point game. So I wanted to bring that back up because with Wilt Chamberlain, of course, we know about his 100-point game as well. But he had 68 on this date in 1967. On this date in 1972, Miami Dolphins became the first undefeated NFL team with a 14-0 regular season record. Of course, they finished 17-0, went on to win the Super Bowl, and they still have celebrations whenever the last undefeated team in the NFL loses every year. This date, 1973, O.J. Simpson became the first NFL running back to rush for 2,000 yards in a season, and he's still searching for the real killers. He's on Twitter now, too. If you follow him, he is slicing and dicing his way through the world. 1979, Roger Staubach played in his last regular season game with the Dallas Cowboys, one of the greatest of all times. And that is what happened on this date in sports history. And a couple of big ones there. Not too many other than that, but a couple of big ones for sure. Let's see, what else are we going to chat about today? Hopefully we can get Haven Medjid on sometime this week. I know he's a busy guy. Ty Erickson's set to join us this week as well. And Flint Rasmussen as we talk rodeo. But hopefully we'll get hooked up with those guys because looking forward to talking to world champion Ty Erickson, world champion Haven Medjid as well. And, you know, I got to give kudos again to Bridger Chambers. You know, last year he got off to a great start in 2018. Winning the Ram Circuit Finals down in Florida. And that kind of gave him a push to be like, okay, and he won the Montana Circuit Finals. He's like, okay, I can go pursue this. You know, he has a real job. He's got a wife and a couple of kids. And Bridger was like, the family got behind me. I can go pursue an NFR berth. And he made it last year, and he finished second in the world behind Tyler Wagaspack. Well, this year, you know, he got hot late. And, you know, there you go. He went off, finished second in the world this year and behind Ty Erickson. And it was cool. There was nobody happier for Bridger than Ty, and nobody happier for Ty than Bridger as well. So, you know, rodeo's a family, and we talk a lot about rodeo here on the Jason Walker Show, and that's just the way it is because it's a great sport, and we love it. So, but we'll try to get some of those guys on a little bit later this week. As we mentioned, for sure, because who doesn't want to talk to a world champ, right? I mean, I would, and we're going to eventually, I hope. Anyway, so let's give a quick preview real quick of what's coming up for Montana State. They're in the semifinals for the first time since 1984, which also was the last time the Cats won the national championship. Derek Marks, in the postgame, he said, you know, you grow up around it. You're able to wear the blue and gold, and he said, you know, it's fun. And adding, quote, before the game, I was remembering the 4 years of work I've put into this program with the guys around me that we've put in. It's a big stage. We haven't had a big game like that in Bozeman for a while, end quote. And it was a great game. Now, the Bobcats are going to have to clean some things up. They had many turnovers, and 9 for 90 yards, and some uncharacteristic mistakes for sure. There's no doubt about that. But you know, they now get to go out to Fargo on Saturday, where they will take on North Dakota State, which won 9-3 in its quarterfinal game over Illinois State. Last year, 52-10, the Bison beat the Bobcats in the second round of the playoffs. This year, Cats are hoping for something different as they got that 27-10 win over Austin Peay on Friday. We mentioned Isaiah Ifanse, 196 rushing yards, which is a record in the playoffs for MSU. They had 279 total. North Dakota State, its 9th consecutive semifinal appearance. The Bison have won 7 of the last 8 FCS titles, the last 2 in a row. They've won an FCS record 35 straight games, and they've won 27 straight at home. Now, the Cats and the Bison have met up 3 times. This will be the 3rd time since 2010. NDSU 2-0 in those playoff games. And the Cats do own the all-time series lead, however. But where it matters right now, North Dakota State has won the last couple. So, by the way, North Dakota State as well held Illinois State to 194 total yards, just 9 first downs. But the Bison didn't score a touchdown at home for the first time since 2002 and still got the win as they made 3 field goals. So it'll be a fun game out there. Noon kickoff on ESPN2 for that one. All right, let's get to, let me see here. Let's get to this.
We're almost at the end of the show. What did we learn? And what did he miss? Time for the walk-off.
All right, it is time for the walk-off here on the Jason Walker Show. The walk-off is brought to you by Cafe Zydeco. You can stop by for breakfast, which is served all day. If you're thinking about anything for breakfast, how about a crawfish omelet? Sounds interesting, right? It's good. Also, the appetizers, the sides, you can stop in and Cafe Zydeco anytime, Monday 11 to 3, Tuesday through Thursday from 11 to 8, and Friday from 11 to 8 as well. And then Saturday 9 to 3, although winter hours Tuesday through Thursday are from 11 to 7, which is what they're in now. But Cafe Zydeco on Euclid, you talking po' boys, you're talking the best Cajun food this side of Louisiana is at Cafe Zydeco on Euclid. All right, so what did we get to today? Well, we missed out on Haven Medjid, and that's a bummer. Hopefully we'll check in with him this week. The Miles City rookie who won the tie-down roping title, the first rookie to win the World Championship of tie-down since Joe Beaver did it in the 80s. That's a long time ago. And congratulations to Haven, the first of many. You think about Haven Medjid of Miles City won a high school championship. He won this last summer, won the college national finals rodeoing at Tarleton State, and then hit the rodeo trail in the PRCA, got into the NFR, and ended up winning the whole thing. So congrats to him. Also, congrats to Ty Erickson for winning the first steer wrestling world championship that he has had and in his short career. A great basketball player at Capital. I can't wait for you to hear tomorrow what Coach Almquist had to say about Ty Erickson, because Coach Almquist coached him. Guy Almquist coached him at Capital, and it's a great it's a great homage to the great Ty Erickson coming up tomorrow with Guy Almquist. He will join us tomorrow. Let's see, Guernsey being Guernsey, he's doing nothing but whining. It's never the Grizz fault that they lose, and Guernsey, man, I hope this was the last game you ever call for the Grizz. And I would still love to get him on the show. So if anybody wants to reach out and get Scott Guernsey on the show, I got no problem with that. I'll even have him come into the studio. Might have to take out a little bit of extra insurance, but come on in. Let's chat, Guerns. Because I love Riley Corcoran. He does a great job over there as the play-by-play announcer for the Grizz, but their post-game show has a lot to be desired. Needs a lot of work and leaves a lot to be desired. But man, oh man. Okay, so what's coming up tomorrow? By the way, that walk-off presented by Cafe Zydeco. Get them on Euclid, 625 Euclid. Stop by. Great food, great drinks. And if you are a member of law enforcement, armed forces, fire, or EMTs, your soft drinks are free at Cafe Zydeco. And have some fried pickles for me. And coming up this week, our first Cafe Zydeco gift giveaway. We got gift certificates to give away to Cafe Zydeco coming up later this week as well. Hope you enjoyed it, and things happen, and you get ready to move on. But the Cats moving on, Weber State moving on. How about a Big Sky Conference Championship? Will we have it? I'll give you a prediction on Friday of who I think wins the semifinal games. We're going to talk some high school sports tomorrow and a whole lot more of the Jason Walker Show. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, TreasureStateRadio.com. And coming soon, JasonWalkerShow.com as well. Hope you had a great time. We'll see you back here tomorrow at 4. It is The Jason Walker Show. And we got to play the outro.
The Jason Walker Show is produced by the Jason Walker Media Company. Any reuse, rebroadcast, or retransmission without the express written consent of the Jason Walker Show is strictly prohibited. Just listen, watch, and enjoy.